When Ozzy Osbourne was just a young man growing up in the United Kingdom, his dad said to him, "I've got a feeling about you, John Osborne. You're either going to do something very special or end up in prison." It turns out, Ozzy did both. Not only did Ozzy become the most revered heavy metal icon of all time, he also ended up in prison before his 18th birthday. Growing up in a post-World War II era in Aston, Birmingham, Ozzy didn't appear to have many prospects or opportunities as a young rebellious man. One of his first jobs was working in a slaughterhouse. He spent his first 4 weeks throwing up on a daily basis as he had to cut open the stomachs of dead animals, which he says he eventually got used to during his 18 months of experience in the abattoir. Although Ozzy seemed to be on the right path to holding down a stable job and becoming an average working member of society, he found himself unemployed after beating one of his colleagues several times over the head with a large pole for making fun of him. This was Ozzy's first taste of chaos, and he seemed to enjoy it. The same thirst for chaos, however, would land him in prison before he turned 18.
So come 1964, Ozzy had found a job that he actually enjoyed, which was working in a slaughterhouse. However, he got fired from that job about 18 months into it for having an altercation with one of his colleagues. He didn't really want to go back to that job, or any job, I don't think. And I think this next part of Ozzy's life really determines the path that he was set to go down. He decided to try and be a thief, and there was a shop at the back of his house that he tried to burgle a few times. On the final attempt, I believe a television fell on top of him, so he wasn't a great burglar, and he left fingerprints all over the place as well. About a week later, the police turned up, and it turned out Ozzy had used a pair of gloves without any thumbs on them, so he just left fingerprints everywhere, and he went to prison.
Ozzy grew up in a part of Birmingham called Aston, which didn't exactly give him a ton of opportunity. He spent most of his nights either trying to find money to buy a pint down his local boozer, or being thrown through shop windows after getting into fights. According to Ozzy, one fight left him so badly injured that he had a chunk of one of his tattoos ripped out, and he spent most of the night in hospital. Luckily, Ozzy learned how to tattoo himself in prison, so he could easily ink himself again if he found the urge to do so, which he did often. The first tattoo Ozzy gave himself was a pair of smiley faces on his knees. He said he did this so he could cheer himself up whenever he was on the toilet. With very little job prospects to look forward to, Ozzy had to keep his spirits up somehow. He would soon start to look towards music for that opportunity and hope.